Well, greetings, blade lovers. Welcome back to OG Blade Reviews. That is me, formerly This Old Sword, just in case you're wondering. You recognize the voice, the channel, whatnot. It changed quite a while ago, but every now and then I mention that. You may have seen this knife from before. Almost 3 years ago, I reviewed this Bulldozer designed by Nim King. And I will warn you or advise you that this is not the knife in question today, but we'll be bringing that up in just a moment. Here's a little bit about the designer, in case you want to freeze frame that. Kim Ning. And about the design. So I'm going to let that speak for itself. And this one is no longer in production, far as I know. Picked this up with my own bucks some years ago. As I said, coming up on almost 3 years, maybe 2 years and 10 months, something like that, if you check the review on this one. But we got a brand new one for you. And let's move this aside and bring out another one, which was sent to me, thank you so much, by Kansept Knives, the maker. And look at what we've got here. Lightning Strike, titanium handle, anode. Look at that. Look at that. It's so glossy, it really, really is, polished, that you can, we got a challenge with the light today, but I'll try to get it right for you so you can see it. Front flipper only, and a fairly easy front flipper to perform that action on. And we've got a really interesting blade that is, if it weren't for the belly here, you would say that's a sheep's foot. You can call it a reverse Tonto if you must. Maybe it's just a clip point. And we got a straight spine on it. We've got a very gradual belly on an extremely high, all the way to the top, flat grind of, guess what? 20 CV. Yes. 20 CV, if you didn't know, is the same composition of materials as M390, except it is made by Carpenter, I believe, rather than Bowler. So Carpenter is a U.S. company, I believe from New Jersey. May not be, but I think that's my last guess on that. Nice in the hand. We'll call it a medium-size knife. You might call it a large-size knife if you like sub-3-inch knives. And what we get it in is this nice, typical flapped Kansept pouch in the box, with the usual Kansept envelope of, is that tape? No. And in the envelope, we get the microfiber cloth, and we get a little info there with some QR codes from Kansept. Going to put that aside. Typical drawers sort of arrangement, very nice. Like their boxes. If you don't use the box for the knife, it comes in handy for change, for little small items on your bureau, your desk, or whatnot. We're going to get straight to measuring this one, if I can find the tape measure, and I did. Overall length, it's 8 1/4, just a little shy of that. We'll call it 8 1/4, 8.24, 3.55 inch blade, let's say, with a 3.5 inch cutting edge. Very small little choil area in there, mainly a sharpening choil. Straight back plunge grind. I think you shouldn't have any problems sharpening it or getting some life out of the edge, depending upon how many times you put that on your diamond hone. And let's get the rest of the measurements before we talk about some other features of this blade. So we got inches up, so let's do the handle thickness, 0.53 inches, and on the blade stock, 3.13 inches in millimeters. That works out to 3.3. And I got my scale handy here. Somebody recognized it. It's just an Amazon kitchen scale. And my caliper is nothing fancy either. Right off of Amazon. 4.47 ounces. Just about 4.5 ounces. And yeah, it's not a real lightweight knife. We've got pockets inside where there's weight relieving on the titanium, with it being just a straight titanium handle, no scales. And in there you can see some heavy milling on both sides. And you can actually see some brassy looking color on the inside there too, where the ano didn't hit and it changed a bit. Yeah, that lightning strike is cool. They do have a bunch of other options on this one. And let me bring that up from the Kansept. Here we have, what do we have? Timascus. That's going to be up there, $300 list price. And we've got the front flipper gray anodized titanium handle Timascus clip, so on and so forth. Then we've got the brown micarta. Wow, that goes way down. So that's a D2. Interesting. Only $77. So if you wanted a budget version of this knife, you've got it. 20 CV on the Tiger Stripe flamed at 233. Bronze anode titanium handle. Then we've got an orange G10 coming in at the budget price as well. And there's a few others. I'll give you the link straight out to Kansept, as well as to other sources for this, namely probably White Mountain, where I have a 10% discount code if you use OG-Blade when you purchase it. Stonewashed finish on this, a light stonewashed finish, which you might call stonewashed and then polished, because it is fairly glossy. It isn't too much of a fingerprint magnet, which is nice. I did a knife recently, the, what the heck was it? Oh, the Momo, that came in a black polished DLC blade. Now that thing, you just look at it and you get fingerprints on it. As I was saying, good sized knife in the jimping, which didn't look to be too aggressive at first to me, is nice. It is a short run. Well, it's about 1.25 inches maybe of jimping. It does, it's a little more grabby right there than it is where the handle meets the blade, because the handle frame is slightly above the jimping. So if you push your thumb in, you get some grip, although this polished titanium sort of overrides it a bit. But right there, you get some good grip. And it's a good thickness blade, as you can see. I can get my thumb way out there on it. Let's see if I can tweak this one light down just a little bit. Had a power outage the other day, and when that happens, my lights come back on full blast when I turn them on. That's a little better. Is it sharp? Well, against paper is what I can give you at the moment, not against pork tenderloin or anything like that. Oh, Kansept has been doing a pretty good job. It's not as wickedly sharp as some knives, but it will get you by. And what I've noticed is a little stropping on any blade will bring that edge to a little finer bevel, or whatever you want to say. This clip is slightly rounded. It gives me kind of that sheep's foot impression, but sheep's foot, as you probably know and would hold me to, is a straight edge, similar to a Wharncliffe, except the Wharncliffe would come way back here and drop down traditionally. compared once again to the original that I got almost 3 years ago, it is identical, except on the original we've got pretty much maybe a slightly glossier finish. Maybe the process just changed slightly. And we have more of a matte titanium. It's looking like you can still get the matte titanium. Of course, you can get G10, which is going to be a little grippier. There is no micro milling here. We just have a bevel, a chamfer, if you want to call it that, with a blue surround. And they are both frame locks with extremely smooth actions. See if they... It's just a slightly bit tighter than the original. Got blue pivot surrounds here as well on this particular model. And we also have a lightning strike anode titanium clip. So titanium all the way around. Even, no, backspacer, well, backspacer appears to be steel. I'm going to call that steel because I'm way past the screws here. And I'm getting some draw. And it's a gray, which is interesting. I don't know if I... See, I was looking direct and not through the camera, so don't want to short you folks on seeing what I see. Well, you know what? If I go back here, there is no draw, so I take that back. It's likely titanium. And I was getting, there might be some inserts back here, something that was attracting the magnet to that portion of the backspacer. So short backspacer, mostly wide open construction. We've got a stop pin here. Not particularly a large stop pin, but hopefully that'll hold up over time. It is on bearings. Get past the detent hump there. Wow, that's a strong detent hump. But even with my old hands, I can front flip it relatively easily. And it's practically drop shut. I would say this guy's just a little smoother. Don't want to show this off too much because you can't get that exact setup anymore. But they did get fancy, but they also did get budgety depending on the model you like. If you like this blade shape and you don't mind a D2 steel, you can get it for $75. If you want to upgrade, 20CV is a beautiful steel. Against Rat 1. See if it's as large as the Rat 1. No, it's shorter by an inch. The Bulldozer is. And the blade on the Bulldozer, wow. I have to say, we got way more handle on the Rat 1 than on the Bulldozer because we've got almost the same blade length, ever so slightly shorter. And what's in my pocket today is the MSI from Microtech. So that's going to be definitely a bigger knife by about 1.5 inches overall. And about 3/4 inch, maybe, something like that. On the 1/2 inch, we'll say. Hard to see, really. If you put a straight edge up against there, you can see about how much longer it is. But they've done an excellent job here. Kim Ning as the designer, and giving us lots of blade. Pretty good there. Lots of blade in that handle. So you get a generous portion of edge and blade in a relatively compact knife. When it's closed is 4 3/4 inches. Oh, not going to use that hand. That thumb's still coming along. It's going to take a long, long time. Man, it's taking a long time. But less pain. What can I tell you? I'll deal without the pain. Well, that is the Bulldozer latest model 2024. This is coming up almost on November, almost Halloween-y on 2024, in 2024. And that is the latest model, one of many, of the Bulldozer Kansept knives. Thank you, Kansept, again for sending this my way. I do appreciate being able to review the new models, and I got at least one more coming in very soon that is brandy new. This is kind of a redo, but I do have some brandy new Kansept knives coming in. And I hope this finds you well, and be safe, and don't forget to subscribe. Click that logo right over there and you'll be brought to a link to subscribe to the channel, and you'll be notified every time there is something new coming up. Be well, take care, see you soon.